Okay, guys, I'm just setting back up properly. Just give me a moment. All right. All right, guys, I'm just waiting for you guys to come in. Just give me a moment. I'm just also making a change of location. All right, so I'm just changing location. About to get started. All right. So, you guys got another 2 minutes to get in, and then we'll take it from there. All right. So, hi guys. Welcome to today's live. All right. Today we're talking about mindful eating. So let me just get this live set up properly. All right. As you guys come in, see in the gym waiting for you people to come in. Let me just grab my box. All right. Come down slightly, and there we are. Okay, people, that should be better now. Today's live is about mindful eating, right? Well, we're going to explore the topic of the mindset behind changing your diet and the mindset breaking the dangerous relationships with food, also to do with eating mindfully for your goals. So there's a number of things which comes into play when we are discussing this topic here. There are three very important things we need to understand about food and about nutrition and how to structure eating. Because in anything that brings a relative amount of success or improvement comes organization and structure, right? You don't just randomly get these things. So we're going to touch on the Chimps Paradox. So we're going to touch on how the brain actually works and how the brain processes foods and when the brain lights up to eating, what it likes to eat. I'm going to go through all of these things. We're also going to go through how to correct it and how to make improvements in your eating choices and habits and behaviors, so on. But before we get started, we want to first just give a synopsis on structure. Now, there are three things in eating which are very critical. One, we're looking at food timing. Food timing is a way we can utilize to bring structure to how we eat, where we eat on a time. And if it's not that time, we do not eat. So that's one way to go about it. Because it's not just one structure that works or one diet that works. It's just particular patterns and structures that allow these things to work. The second thing we're looking at is meal type. So the types of food we put into a meal, right, is ultimately highly responsible for how that meal turns out on your body. Remember, food is not just calories, food is information. It sends information to the cells for the cells to act according. And the last and pretty much most important point apart from timing and type is the size of the portions, right? Because healthy eating does not equal fat loss, right? This morning, for example, I did a training session for 2.5 hours and I burnt 2,000 calories. I could easily just go and eat healthy. I could go and eat 3 oranges, 2 bananas, an apple, and some pineapple and easily get back those 2,000 calories, right? But that wouldn't be mindful eating. I wouldn't be eating for a purpose. I'll be just eating because I feel like it. Hold on, someone's asking a question here. Hi guys, hi guys. Hey Amari, how's it going? That's much per meal if I'm having 2 meals per day. How much healthy meal per day? I don't understand that question. How much meals per day if I'm having 2 healthy meals per day? I'm not following. But going back to the point of structure, guys, these are the 3 points I need you to note down and to understand, because the purpose for me to teach is not for you to be dependent upon me, right? I'm here to teach, but when I'm not around anymore, you are to go along life's journey and still get the results you want by implementing what you were taught now, because not a lot of us have the knowledge which we need to get the results that we want. So it's very important. Healthy fats. So Chantal's asking, how much healthy meal if I'm having only 2 meals per day? I meant how much healthy fat should I have if each meal I am having only 2 meals? Okay, how much healthy fat if you're having 2 meals per day? 1. If you're having meals per day, you're having 1 with starch after you work out. But if you're training, it all depends if you're training. If you're not exercising, you should not be having starch from carbohydrates, right? Very important. You have to earn your starch, especially when you're in the yellow group. So if you're in the yellow group and you're having 2 meals today, if you didn't exercise, you can have the 2 meals, that's fine, but you have good fats and not starch. No starch, right? So that's how it works. So as again, guys, just to recap as you guys all come in, because I'm here with you guys for 45 minutes to an hour. The first part of the structure is we want to get into a position where you understand the structures required. The structure is the size of the meal, right? The next point is the type of foods that make up the meal. And the last part is the timing. So we can use fasting to restrict the calorie intake. If you're eating at 12 o'clock, you wait till 12 o'clock till you eat. That is a process and a structure to basically restrict how much food you have. Because at the end of the day, the bottom line is calorie restriction in order to burn fat. So that's the first part of the structure. I'm just going to answer the questions as I come in. They come in. Hi guys, as you come in. So the second most important thing here that we're going to touch on is about, let me just move across a little bit, is about going into the Chimps Paradox and the mindset of getting into mindful eating. Now, mindful eating is the ability to think about and plan what you're going to eat in order to deliver your goals. Emotional eating is waiting until you feel like eating something and then going to eat just exactly that, even if it's conflicting to your goals, which does not make any sense whatsoever. So the Chimps Paradox is a theory which was introduced to me by a friend of mine, Professor Steve Peters. Professor Steve Peters wrote the book, The Chimps Paradox. He's actually gone around to help a lot of persons creating the correct mindset in order to manage what we call their chimp. Your chimp is the emotional part of your brain. The other part of your brain is the logical part of your brain. You will always utilize the chimp first. The chimp cannot be controlled. The emotions cannot be controlled, but they can be managed. So right now, I'm feeling hungry and I want to go and eat something. And if I go and, first of all, try and find what is easily available, that's not being mindful, and that's not also being logical. Because if I need a certain amount of proteins, a certain amount of carbohydrates, and a certain amount of fats to get the goals I want, there's no point just going to where the nearest food stop is to eat. I might as well just fast. So being in control of your mindset. So what Professor Steve Peters teaches, and I will send you guys some articles on the Chimps Paradox so you can understand, is that managing the chimp is a very effective way to get individuals or get yourself to make conscious decisions to deliver actions of what it is you want the outcome to be. And this applies to any level of success in anything you want in life. If you want wealth, you have to save. You cannot get wealth if you don't save and invest. It's impossible. And if you want wealth and want wealth relatively quickly, you need to save and invest as much of your income you have as possible. So when your income comes in, you have to delegate 50, 60, 70% of it to savings and to investments in order to develop capital and grow capital in order to become wealthy or in order to increase wealth. If you just get your income and squander it on anything you feel like, and have, when it's left over, you then turn around wondering why you have no money left, that will also be an emotional thought. We also have these crossovers in our daily lives where we look at schooling and education. Some of you have made amazing sacrifices throughout life when it comes to academia. You've gone, you've studied, you've sacrificed night sleep to write essays, or you've sacrificed going out with friends to prepare for a seminar in the morning. You've sacrificed doing things you feel like doing in order to make an exam and to pass the exam and prepare for the exam. This level of success in academia or level of success in wealth management and wealth creation is the same principles that need to be applied to lifestyle in order to get the result that you want. You have to not pay attention to your emotions, to your chimp. Your chimp is always going to try and get out the cage, right? And, oh, I feel like eating this, and I'm going to go and eat it right now because I've been working so hard to afford it. It's then a mindset of reward. It's a mindset of, I deserve this. This mindset will not bring you closer towards any body composition aesthetic goals you may have. It's a mindset of disaster. So how do we manage the chimp, and how do we move away from this mindset, and how do we use structure to let us understand food and utilize systems to get results that we want, both short term and long term? So first of all, you have to get to know your chimp. You have to know your chimp, because my chimp is plaguing me right now. As I said, I did a 2-hour training session this morning, 2.5 hours. I'm hungry right now. I'm doing the 40-day challenge with you guys. But if I just went to where it was closest here, the types of food that are available would take me further away from fat loss. Also, if I was to just go and eat what I wanted to, right now I'd eat a full English breakfast. Some bacon, some eggs, some beans. But I don't allow that thought process to control my mind. I don't succumb to my chimp. I'm aware the thought is there. I'm absolutely in control, right? Because it is very important I now put measures in place to now deliver the results that I want. So how do we now introduce mindful eating? Everyone has a set of goals that they have, and the set of goals comes with a sacrifice in the calorie intake and the types of calories you need to have. You can't just randomly eat fruits, because fruits just comes with high carbs, right? You have to eat a balance of macronutrients. You have to get your proteins in to retain your muscle tissue, whilst you reduce your carbohydrate or your fats in order to burn through the excess body fat tissue that you're trying to get rid of. So mindful eating comes in, understanding exactly what is required and planning accordingly to deliver that, and not succumbing to the emotions or to the demands the chimp has to feed your body. This is why fasting can be highly effective, because it doubles up, it doubles down how the processing works in the body for burning fat. When we put calories into our bloodstream in terms of carbohydrates, we reduce the amount of human growth hormones being produced. When human growth hormones are high, insulin growth factor 1, we burn a lot of fat. However, if we spike insulin by eating certain foods such as fruits and simple carbohydrates, we spike insulin and we don't effectively burn fat anymore. So we have to also be cognizant in what foods we choose. So it's not just about managing the chimp in the sense of fasting. It's also what happens when you break that fast, because you could break that fast with all the wrong things and you're back to square one. So that's the outline, guys. I'm going to send you some material. Let me just have a look what's happening here. This week I realized I was making small changes. I was on the road all day Thursday and refused to buy fast food simply because I was unsure if they use coconut oil. I did a mental checklist. So yes, guys, so that's great. That's a good way to look at it in terms of not being sure of what the ingredients are, so that you come back to the structure, the type of foods, because the fast food is there, but you don't know what they use to prepare it. And if you can't quantify what they use to prepare it, you're going to go against your goals. And your goals have structure. Your goals, like anything else that brings success in life, has a code, has a particular way of doing things to get those results. And in order to achieve that, we must utilize this word that most people don't like to hear, which is discipline. Discipline is a very, very tough thing, and we always assume that we have enough discipline, but really when we assess our goals and assess where we are in comparison to our goals, we tend to find out we're not doing something that is required enough, or we are doing it too much. There is something wrong with managing what happens throughout that process. So I'm going to take some questions now. I've spoken on the structure and I have to send follow-up material. Can I have kiwi in the yellow group? No, the yellow group is not allowed any fruits whatsoever. Right? No fruits means no fruits, guys. Right? The yellow group is not allowed fruits. Period. There's no fruits allowed in the yellow group. If you progress to the other group you're allowed to have a piece of fruit. So the rules are the rules. Again, discipline. The structure is the structure. The structure cannot be changed for how you're feeling. The structure cannot be altered for your demands. The structure is the structure, because the structure will get you the result that you are looking for. All right, so ask more questions, guys. This is where I open the floor to questions. As I said, now we're moving towards, I'm going to send you material on the Chimps Paradox. I hope that all of you watched the video that I sent out yesterday on fasting versus calorie restriction, which basically goes into explaining a little bit more in detail what happens to the body when you fast, as opposed to what happens when you calorie restrict, right? When you fast as well, relatively, you can still, eat some of the foods that you enjoy eating once they are healthy. Because again, healthy eating is very important. It is important because eating is information. Food is information. Foods tell the cells what to do. So don't misconstrue the data. Not because you are not overweight by a measure of the majority, it means that you're healthy. That's not the case, right? Slim people can be very unhealthy, and that comes down to what they're eating. What is the best time to weigh? As I weigh less in the mornings. Yes, that's a natural. You will weigh less in the mornings. All right? You will weigh less after going to the bathroom. Your weight will go up after you start to consume fruit throughout the day. So the best time to weigh or true weight is first thing in the morning after using the bathroom. That is where we get true weight from. All right. Jay, you are correct about mindset because I can only eat 2 meals per day, sometimes one. Yeah. Ms. Fraser, yes, mindset is where it all starts. Because if you were to even just go to the gym for 6 months and you took off some weight and you changed your diet for 6 months, you took off some weight, and then you reverted back to the old behaviors that allowed you to gain the weight that you got rid of in that 6 months, you're going to regain the weight, inevitably, right? So we need to talk about long-term behavioral modification, or otherwise known as lifestyle change, right? These are the things that will deliver results long-term. It's not necessarily just doing this for this period of time and then reverting back to unhealthy practices. It is doing this because it gives you the results that you so desire, and then moving to something sustainable after, but not reverting back to bad choices and bad lifestyle practices. I work out in the gym and then do the workout videos. Is that too much? No, if your body can manage it, that's fine. We've been working on content this week for the athletic program. Also, I do believe you guys have been receiving the athletic program. If you haven't, please say so now. And the athletic program is a breakdown of the things that you will need to do, right? So you can work out in the gym and also do the workouts that are on here. Once you are recovering well enough and you're not feeling lethargic and broken and so on, or hurting yourself. But there's nothing wrong with training multiple times for the day. How much calories or gram in healthy fat should be served in each meal? Guys, you are not yet persons in the yellow and green group, which is most of you. You are not counting calories. You're not managing grams. You're not being exposed to that just yet. You are supposed to just be using your hand as portion control. You're not progressing to managing macros just yet in terms of calories and grams. For your protein content, it's in the middle of your hand. For your fat content, it's just your top part of your thumb. And for your carb content, it's your fist. All right? That is all, guys. You shouldn't be managing your macros just yet. We haven't progressed to that. That comes with a progression that comes at a later point in the program. All right? Just get on to managing your portions first. All right. Omari, I haven't received the athletic program. Okay, so Takunda, Matthew, guys, team, please, we have been having these programs that we've been doing here. So guys, this is a community. So no matter where you are in the world, we have what we call training of the day that we put out every day. The training of the day will come out this week. I understand there were some challenges last week, but this week the TOD should come out to you, and I will make sure that it comes out to you. And that TOD is what you do. However, the TOD has a structure. The structure starts with a prehab, a movement prep rather. So it's not just going to the gym, running on the treadmill, and then hit some weights. It's an athletic way of training, and there's a structure to it. There's a prehab to prepare the body, movement preparation. There's also some explosive work. Then there's some strength work. Then there's some cardio, what we call energy system development, and then there's some stretching for what we then call ESD. So Amari, I'll make sure Takunda will be in charge of that in sending it out in the group. So what you guys have, especially for you guys who are not on the Eastern Standard Time, we will send out the training Eastern Standard Time for the following day. So we'll send it out at 7 p.m. for the following day. All right, so Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. for the following day or earlier. 7 p.m. will be the latest that program comes out. All right, so apologies if you haven't got it this week. I did a wisdom tooth extraction yesterday, and most of the approved list for next week or so, I cannot eat. I can only soft foods. Okay. You can blend your veggies, so you can have green juices, and you can use protein shakes as your protein. So the list doesn't food to eat the foods on the list. Whey protein is allowed and vegan protein is allowed. So you can still have liquid foods, or liquidize your foods. You're still using the same structure, but you're liquidizing, right? If you're in a green group, you can liquidize your fruit and so on. All right? Okay. Also bear in mind, guys, if you're having healthy additions, supplementations like CMOS, they come with calories and they come with a lot of carbs. They're healthy, but you also need to manage what it's coming in with. Let me just check again any more messages. All right. Okay. So yeah, guys. So that's where it's at with the structure and how you guys work out. If you do have a heart rate monitor, it would be great if you have a heart rate monitor, because then we could then see when you do the TODs how you're performing on them. So the data would come back to us. But if you don't, hey, it's fine. You don't have to have a heart rate monitor, but it allows us to engage and to see how much intensity points versus how much calories you got from, and compared to somebody else who's doing the same workout, you know? So, yeah. Yes, your females generally, when it comes around to menstrual time, sugars are definitely one of the top of the list that females do crave. Raisins, no, it's not allowed. Especially if you're, yeah, raisins is not allowed on the challenge right now, right? It's allowed when you move to the blue group and you can actually count them in your macros, in your calories. But for the yellow and green right now, which is where most of you are, all of you are, you're not allowed to have that. So what can you replace for sweets? You're not allowed fruits either. You have to just break the cycle of sugar, and that comes with managing the chimp. All right. I can't tell you it's acceptable to have, because you're gonna, it's gonna go against the program. What we find is, for asking for replacements, I've said this before, it's almost like coming off heroin and asking, can I take cocaine instead? And the answer is always going to be no. You can't break a cycle of behavior but find a replacement for it. We have to create and cultivate new behaviors which don't have an adverse effect. So for example, sparkling water. Instead of having sugar, have sparkling water cold. Sparkling water can be quite satiating. It comes with 0 calories, and it's not a replacement of one drug to another. It's us creating a new behavior. We're actually trying to break the cycle of sweets and the dependence on sugars. So I'm not going to promote the use of natural sugars, especially for people in the yellow group, until we have made some progress and until we have grappled with understanding about the chimp and about managing the chimp in order to deliver the results that we want. As I've said many times again, if you are to bring the same concept over to wealth creation and wealth management, it's almost like saying to me or asking me, Jay, is it possible for this month, instead of me saving 40% of my income, can I save 20% instead? And still, at the end of the year, come with the same outcome of saving $1 million or whatever it is. The outcome will not be the same. The outcome will never be the same if you are going to change the process that is involved to give you the desired goal that you have. The outcome has to be what it's supposed to be. Sorry, there is the process has to be to deliver the desired outcome. It is the same thing. You can't, and if you don't go about it that way, you're taking risks. So for example, if you have an exam you're preparing for, and there are 12 subject areas on the exam, and you decide, and then in the end there's 12 subject areas that could possibly come up, but there's only 6 that will guarantee definitely come up out of the 12. If you revise only for 6 or 7, hoping that the 6 or 7 that you revise come up, you're taking a big risk. If the 6 that you did not revise for come up, what are you going to do then? You're going to wing it. And if you wing it, the results are not going to be what you intended for it to be. If you wing your eating and leave your eating to emotions, why are you alarmed or shocked when you're not happy when you take off your shirt or whatever it is that you use to account for how you look? Why are you alarmed? If you're not investing in the practices required, why are you alarmed with the outcome? That's almost insanity, right? And that's what we're trying to address. Oh, but I love, no. We need to spend more time managing the chimp. I love to party. I still have to go and study for my exams, right? I see a beautiful, expensive watch I want to buy. However, I want to buy a house in the next 18 months. Therefore, I need to save X amount every single month to reach that desired outcome. The desired outcome, the goal, has to be interlinked with the process, or else it doesn't happen. All right? So we are moving away from emotional eating. We are moving away from reward eating. This is one of the concepts that I have spoken to persons about in Jamaica, where, you know, a lot of Jamaicans grow up where they're in a household where they're told, do not leave the table until you clear your plate. Or it's, you know, where are you going? You haven't finished your food. So you then get accustomed to eating all you want to eat. Or your parents used to reward you with ice cream or KFC when you did something worthwhile at school, or you did something that you were to do at home. What has been ingrained over time is the wrong behaviors. So you're in a behavioral cycle where you want to then feel like you're getting a treat. You're not a dog. We don't need to be giving you treats, okay? So that's the mindset shift we're trying to change. We're not dealing with treats. That's one, because you're not an animal, all right? And we're also not dealing with replacement in terms of cocaine and heroin, because you're not a drug addict. So you're not an animal and you're not a drug addict. What you are is a human being which has a desired outcome. And in order to deliver those desired outcomes, we have to engrave new habits that creates behaviors that sustain over time to give our desired outcome. And there is no other way around it, right? It is requiring a little bit of discipline. It's requiring about getting uncomfortable with being comfortable with feeling uncomfortable. I'm feeling uncomfortable right now. I burned 2,000 calories. I haven't worked out. I haven't eaten. If it was up to me and my feelings and my chimp, I would go and have some Chinese maybe, right? And I'll go and have a nice tall glass of Pepsi to wash it down. However, those things are contrary to my desired outcome. So I am now sustaining or managing my chimp, and I plan to eat after I leave here, and I will go and eat what I'm supposed to eat, which I'm going to have some fish, and I'm going to have one piece of fruit, and I'm not going to have any starch, and I'm going to have some vegetables. And that's it for me today. I'm having one meal, and that's it. I'll have a protein shake with that meal. So I'm already mindful of what I'm going to have, what is in it, and it's giving me what I need. So is there any more questions, guys? I think I've covered today, and I'm going to send you some videos and send you some articles and information on managing the chimp and the chimp paradox, because it's not just me talking to you and the problem is resolved. It's about engraving these new behaviors. It's about managing them, right? Managing, not controlling, not restraining, but managing, right? Managing comes with planning. Planning comes with execution and consistency. All right? So, I think I'm going to end it there now, guys. I've given you some information there. Persons who did not make it to the live, the video will be on YouTube. You can watch it again. and look out for some more information that's coming out. Please, guys, if you have any questions, ask them now or forever hold your peace until we meet again next week. Remember, you guys are now 5 days into the challenge, 6 days into the challenge. Today is day 6, tomorrow is day 7. No, today is day 5, tomorrow is day 6. And you're weighing, your first round table that we're going to have is on the 10, is 10 days in, right? For the hill run is going to be on tomorrow morning at 6 o'clock, 6 a.m. The meet time is 5:45 a.m. at Chancery Hall, right? For those of you who are not in Jamaica and you have access to a hill, you're only required to do 1 kilometer up, 1 kilometer down, nothing more. All right, if you don't have a hill, I require you to do a kilometer, but just do it a little bit harder so you can jog it rather than walking it. And then you can submit that data on Strava, so you can join the Spry Live or the Spry Training Strava team page, and you can use your phone to do it. So your phone will track the GPS, and it will show us what you did, right? If you have a heart rate monitor as well, it will then track it too. But if you don't have any of these things, you can just use your phone, go into the Strava, find Spry Training, and we just track it from there. But tomorrow is at 5:45 is the meet time, 6 a.m. sharp is the start time, and that's it. We got at 6, not taking any prisoners, all right? So, there you have it, guys. So you have homework for tomorrow. It's not a strenuous workout. It's an active recovery day. That's another important thing that we're trying to now become a part of our behavioral cycle, which is to actively recover, right? Actively recover is very good for our body. We train at a lower intensity and we still get to burn some calories, all right? And movement is also good for the cells. But wrapping up, guys, apart from fat loss and weight loss, calorie restriction is actually very good for the telomeres, which is at the end of the cells. The end of the cell has a telomere, and the telomere length dictates how long the cell life will be. Your cell life is how long the cell lives. If you reduce your cell life by eating sugar, eating a calorie surplus, all these kinds of stuff, your body's ability to live long will be drastically reduced. So I'll provide you guys some data on that as well. These are data points that will hopefully hone in the mindset that we're now trying to create. So you understand it's not just about because I said so. It's about the data, it's about the principles, and it's about achieving your objectives. So thanks for joining again, guys. Take care, and we will talk again next week. Okay, bye-bye.